This podcast is sponsored by IQ Bar.
I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ Bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 7 plant protein bars, 4 hydration mixes, and 4 enhanced coffee sticks. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20 to get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Again, go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20.
Welcome to Critical Hit, a Major Spoilers podcast. Thank you so much for downloading, checking us out this week. So much going on up in space. But I think, Kevin, space is not where we're going to be for that long.
No, you guys are headed down to the surface of Akaton for your first race in Drifters. Last time...
On Critical Hit.
Critical Hit.
Nice. You guys had basically finished repairs to the Squeaky Clean and then made your way completely uneventfully to the Red Planet, the destination of your first race. You did get contacted by some very nice contemplatives who were interested in you protecting their son, Talos, who you've previously run into. Apart from that, you do not know what lies ahead of you, but you know that it is on the surface of the planet, and you have your coordinates ready to plug in land.
All right, then I will enter those coordinates and tell Grace, I believe it is time for us to land if this is a clear area and we don't anticipate any crashes.
It looks like the company has cleared a landing area for us. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to communicate with you once you're no longer on board. So I guess this is goodbye for now and good luck.
Okay.
The landing process has already started.
Good. So what's this planet like? What is this planet's name? Akaton. What is it like?
Yeah. So Akaton is the third planet in the solar system, though it would be the fourth if Galarian still existed and Absalom Station wasn't there in its place. It is a desolate red wasteland. It is red because it's very rich in iron. It's notably low gravity and low atmosphere, so you might need extra oxygen to breathe well, and you might be able to feel really athletic or acrobatic on the surface because you effectively weigh a lot less. It's notable for having been a mining planet at some time in the distant past before drift technology took off. It was used for a mineral called Thasteron that was the primary ingredient in pre-drift engines at the time. And it's now basically a burnt-out husk. All the corporations have abandoned it, and it is run by cartels and gangs and really mercenary corporations as little city-states that dot this lawless, barren wasteland.
And we're bringing the entire Squeaky Clean down, correct? We're not in a shuttlecraft or anything?
No, the Squeaky Clean is capable of landing on a planet's surface. It has like the little thrusters, and it blows up a bunch of dust. There is a lot of sand and little metallic dust all over the place, and it has landing gear, so it's fine for that. It does not have any shuttles, but it does have that little cargo bay which currently holds your buggy.
Excellent. I'll open up the communication system. Team Co-Captain Hecubino?
Yep.
This is Bob.
Oh, hey, Bob.
Hey, we're getting ready to land. I noticed that the oxygen levels are not really high on this planet. I also noticed that the buggy had some breather masks in there. It might be useful for people to use those on the planet.
Okay, sounds good. I don't know how we're going to plug Amu to one of those, but whatever, he's a doctor.
Nice. No. So you guys have landed on the surface. There are little landing pads for multiple vessels. You can see your competition has also already landed and is disembarking and getting ready for, unloading their vehicles and getting ready for the race. You guys are still on board the Squeaky Clown at the moment.
Okay. Hecubino will come out. He's got his makeup on. So he's got 2 purple stars over his eyes. And he's also wearing what appears to be 2 long metal poles sticking out of the shoulder pads of his armor, and is armed and armored and ready to go.
So what's the deal with these poles sticking out of his armor? What are they like?
Right now they just look like poles.
Okay. All right. Curiouser and curiouser. So what does everybody else do?
Once the ship has touched down, I'll power down the engines and put everything in standby, and then go to the bay, and I'll help Skritic unload the buggy onto the planet.
Okay, well, goodbye then.
Bye,
Okay,
ship.
Grace.
Bye, Grace.
Bye.
So you unload the buggy. Now, you guys have had an opportunity while you were in transit to adorn said buggy however you wish. You do, assuming the materials on hand, which are cans of spray paint, random super high-tech computers, maybe some 3D printing, a couple of wrenches, and Squeebo. So using, this stuff you have, Iron Chef style, you are allowed to make whatever cosmetic changes you wish to the buggy. And you know that image matters. So what does the buggy look like now?
Well, it definitely has a lizard head, not exactly a hood ornament and not exactly one of those Viking heads on the front of the ship, but somewhere in between to emblematize, if that is a word, and it is now, Team Lizard Brain in a very lizardy way.
Yeah, I'd probably try to push for it to, I would say to our Team Purple colors, and then also we should come up with a name for it. Vangi will suggest the Dust Bunny.
Oh, that is good, but it kind of clashes with the lizard stuff. Yeah, I think we should just 3D print a bunch of spikes and then line them up the hood and then down the back so that it looks like a sort of a dorsal spine ridge. Spray paint that green, and Hecubino will suggest that we call it Squeebo Jr.
Quentin's suggestion will be the Sand Skink to keep the lizard theme.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Skinky.
Well, somebody had to go there. I'm glad it was you.
I painted some flames on the side.
Nice.
Cool flames, yes.
Amu will be attaching his shell to the side.
That's good.
All right, so let me get this straight. What's the base paint color?
Purple.
Probably whatever color was there
I think the
before.
base is purple with these.
Okay, it's purple, and then we have 3D printed spikes forming like a ridge, and at maybe the wheel barrels, and those are all spray painted green, and then it's got a giant lizard head on the front, and then it's got cool flames. Now, when you say cool flames, do you mean they're flames but they look really cool?
Yeah,
or do you mean they're a cool color?
No, they're flames that look really cool.
Just sweet, blazing red flames and orange.
And on the rear, even though it is completely non-functional, there is what looks like a rocket that actually has LED lights inside, so when the vehicle is in motion, you actually look like you have a booster rocket on the back, even though it's not. It's purely decorative, but
Decorative
it's a
booster
Quentin
rocket.
touch.
And then where are the Recrucci shells, Rob?
Oh, it's going to be the actual like mobile lab shell attached more or less to the side of the vehicle.
Like a sidecar.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Completely cohesive and on theme. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this does
Can we
remind
paint
me.
his shell to look like a brain?
No one's stopping you.
I mean,
Sweet.
Amu can look like a brain in chunks.
Gross. Love it.
Never seen brain coral?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I definitely have.
So this does remind me, since we're going over things, I am going to retcon one thing I said in a previous session because I realized it didn't really make sense in context, and it will come up again soon, which is the weapons mount. Just remove that from existence for a moment. It's going to come right back, but it's not there right now.
We're on Earth 2. This is a Berenstain Earth, by the way.
Yep.
I like the very technical removal of this, like exile it from the battlefield, and then when the buggy comes back, it doesn't have it anymore because it's a different instance of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it got hot fixed.
Oh, no. Rodrigo's referring to a blink effect in Magic. Come on now. Yeah, you guys are disembarking, and this seems to be not exactly a settlement that you're entering. This is the middle of nowhere. So the terrain is blasted wasteland as far as the eye can see, except for a very notable feature, which is the Adayo Rift. The Adayo Rift is an equatorial canyon or set of canyons that basically goes around the whole world. Imagine, the world serpent, Jormungandr, had existed on this planet and then it squeezed really hard and created a canyon. That's what Akaton has. You're on a flat plains at the moment where everybody else has landed, but you are near this rift. And there's basically visible canyons up ahead. You're at a point of low elevation, kind of like a basin approaching the rift. So you are actually entering, you can see the basically mountains and spires up ahead as towering above you. And apart from the area to land your vehicles, there's clearly a well laid out path for your progression and where you're supposed to park your vehicles as opposed to your spaceships. And there's little bleachers and a broadcasting stand and everything like that up further ahead.
Well, you better start rolling, Quentin.
I am rolling.
Does it matter where in the buggy we are?
We're going to get to that when the actual race starts.
Okay.
But the buggy does seat all of you. It's going to be relevant, not where you're sitting really, but what role you're providing,
Right.
Who's driving it versus who's manning a gun that doesn't exist yet, but don't worry, it'll come back. Stuff like that.
Quentin's going to be mounted on the dashboard for 360-degree access.
Okay.
Now I just imagine a Quentin bobblehead.
Mm-hmm.
Vangie
Got a
will
little grass
put
skirt.
her hand on Hecubino's shoulder and kind of give it a little squeeze.
It's the big time.
It's the big time.
All right. So you guys drive the sand skink?
The sand skink.
Yep.
I imagine that's emblazoned on it somewhere. Otherwise, people won't know.
Oh, yeah. Quentin brought out his airbrushing tool. It's in a really, really cool font. Across the rear and the hood. Because branding.
I imagine that comes standard with your model of Android. The airbrushing tool.
Yeah. The airbrush tool. It's right under the rotating knives and just above the electric cattle prod. It's fine.
It's in papyrus.
No.
Comic Sans.
How dare you, sir? No. It's impact.
All right. So, as you drive up to where your vehicles are supposed to park, you can spy your competition. And there are 3 other vehicles approaching. One is from, you can obviously tell, the new Team Rust Dragon. It is a massive iron-plated big wheel truck. There are huge petrol barrels in the back trailer, which are covered in a blade of armor. The giant rig is covered in ladders, valves, gauges, and thick metal plates. It has an enormous aurochs catcher attached to the front truck tractor with iron bars scraping just inches off the ground and designed to look like a dragon with a mouthful of long teeth. Imagine the thing that's in front of a train. It's got a huge one of those. And inscribed on the side with an ominous lizard-like face is Basilisk. The next vehicle that pulls up is a Formian Colony Utility Vehicle, or CUV, which is a living organism with nigh infinite cilia that crawl ceaselessly over the terrain. The creature/vehicle's exoskeleton is covered in unfathomable runic circuitry that glows faint green, purple, blue. And if you pay attention to it for long enough, you notice that they're basically, when it's crawling on those cilia, old ones die and break and are discarded and shed from the CUV's body while new ones are grown.
That seems.
And last but not least is one. Oh, by the way, that one in those runes, it says in a script you have never read in your life, but you instantly understand and it just embeds itself in your mind. The Colonizer.
Yeah, not creepy at all.
And then the last one is a sleek and sharp, long-legged and nimble tripod. It has a silver minaret atop a 3-legged steel walker frame. It seems to pick its places amongst rubble and scree without fail, and the top of the minaret is transparent and likely shielded because there's like a faint energy hum around it. And it forms a bridge where you can see the crew looking down on you. And it has a giant brain emblazoned on the bottom and front of the tripod, and around it is inscribed in slashing bold letters, Tripod of Doom.
Classic.
A little prosaic, I feel.
It's, this is the equivalent of Mars. You got to give it to them.
Yep.
So you all drive your vehicles up to the assigned parking spaces, and then you're all separated by large plastic sheets that cut off your line of sight to your fellow competitors. Just a moment after that, a team of engineers adorned in the 27th season of Drifters attire starts immediately overhauling the sand skink. They wheel out an enormous jack, drills, oversized wrenches, lasers, just everything you can think of. There's a crew chief nearby that's yelling orders into his headset while operating a huge portable heads-up display that shows the vehicle's schematics and all the changes that all the engineers are making to it in real time, which is changing wildly, like really, really quickly. And in a flash, like just when you're about to ask what they're doing to your vehicle, they're finished. And the buggy looks the same, except for the mounting of the weapons box on the frame and the addition of some custom computer terminals in the front bucket seats and a bunch of really random, strange, seemingly completely unnecessary minor alterations, like the style of your hubcaps and the number of struts connecting wheels to the axle. Anyway, it looks totally fine.
Oh, good.
Vangie just like runs her hands over the mounted weapons and like kind of like knocks on it.
It sounds pretty solid. It seems like this thing is dense and probably packed to the brim full of deadliness.
She nods approvingly.
I really quickly take a can of spray paint and spray paint angry eyes onto it.
Nice.
That's great. All right, so you can see that you're in position, and the crews are all supposed to stand at this line that's demarcated, and you can see that there's basically a broadcasting area nearby, where there's a fleet of spherical camera bots that are all smaller than you, Quentin. They're like just little cameras, floating cameras. They're probably not sentient. That are all hovering while filming the starting line and surrounding area. On your newly installed computer terminals in the Sandskink, there is a video feed that seems to show your coverage live. So this feed cuts to a swoosh-shaped desk made of some shiny silver metal with two beings behind it, evidently filling the roles of play-by-play announcers. One is a human male in a blue suit, overall a big guy with kind of a square jaw and coiffed hair and just looks well put together. The other is a floating jellyfish-like creature, but instead of the central bell that a jellyfish has, it has a rotating mandala with several eyes coalescing out of the protoplasm.
Is it also
is this
wearing
one of
a
those
blazer?
juvenile things that eventually like form a collective?
Anyone who is trained in it can make a life science check.
Yeah, I'm not.
Hi, nat 20.
Yeah, that'll do.
Whatever it is.
Automatic 20. Yep.
Yeah, that's the one.
So that is a Barathu. And yeah, Sam did get that right. They do have an early stage and a late stage. Their late stage tends to be more collective oriented, but they are definitely a race of shapeshifters that are capable of rewriting their own DNA, which makes them very adaptable to different circumstances. And yeah, you guys, after your vehicle has had its fixes, you guys can see that there are fans in the stands nearby. People are cheering for you. You can see Crystal Wiles is actually in attendance, still looking at her portable comms, and not caring at all about you. And you can see the vehicles of the other teams, and you are at a literal line in the sand that is the starting line. All right, and at that, the announcers begin. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 27th season of Drifters, the Galaxy's infosphere show with the highest mortality rate per million viewers. I'm your host, Jock Hammer, and with me today is Shu Lai, my new co-host from Bretheta. You know, after I eat some legumes, my partner calls me a gas giant. Are all human attempts at humor so scatological, or is it just you? Regardless, I will be providing ongoing analysis and insight to offset your color commentary, emits the Barathu. And speaking of color, we're back on the red planet of Akaton. Fans might recognize this track from the penultimate episode of Season 24. But rest assured, we've made loads of modifications to ensure this race will have more surprises, deadlier hazards, and even fewer safeguards than ever before. Now let's meet the contestants. And a crew of interviewers is swarming Team Rust Dragon briefly. You guys have a moment to react while you're not on camera, except for Quentin.
All right, everyone got their intros. Everyone ready to meet the world?
Yeah, game phases, and Hecubino will like press a button on his armor, and those sticks will emit a pair of like holographic flags, one of which says Team Lizard Brain, and another one which says this space for rent.
Yeah, and Vangie will like nod and press the button on her own things that have the matching holograms.
So these are holographic Sashimono?
Yeah. we spent our precious starting wealth on these things.
Nice.
Oh, that's great. So after a moment, the crew is over to interview you. So they all approach, including the announcers, the human jackhammer walking while Shu Lai floats. And they say, and this is Team Lizard Brain, is that right?
That's right.
And tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Well, we hail from all over the cosmos, you see. We are a ragtag bunch of super cool guys, and we're about to show drifters what it really means to crush that finish line.
That's just great. And you're representing?
We're representing Space Suds. Space Suds for when you want it clean, like right now.
Also technically a food.
Wonderful. We love newbies, don't we, folks? Newbies have a statistically higher chance of death.
Promo mode engaged.
Oh yeah, my name is Quentin, and you need to know 2 things about Team Lizard Brain. Number 1, we come to win. Number 2, we come to win.
Promo mode disengaged.
The host stare at you, aghast. You weren't sure you could tell what aghast looked like on a Baratheon until now. now you know. Or like, right. Okay, then. Well, good luck, Team Lizard Brain. And then they move on.
Thank you.
Good job, everyone.
I dislike both of them.
Yeah, well, we're not here to make friends.
We're here to win.
Yeah.
We're here to make friends.
Indeed.
You think they got me sharpening my knife in the shot?
If not, you know what? While they interview the other ones, let's do some pickups, Quentin.
Scanning dailies. Additional pickup shots engaged.
Yeah, we'll get some shots of knife sharpening. Maybe we'll get Bob to rev up the engine.
Vroom vroom.
Bob can do that thing where he like reaches up and closes the pockets on his shirt and then looks really awesome for a second.
And I adjust my goggles.
Yeah.
And my scarf.
Yeah. And I'll throw in some whip pans and a really just whoosh effect every time he moves. It'll be awesome.
And just
like
get
a syringe.
Yeah, just get some creepy side shots of Amu's shell with like something crawling out of it.
Nice.
Some really cool shots of bits and pieces of them moving around. That would be cool.
Yeah, and like Vangie and Hecubino back to back in like combat glamour poses.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So they have finished their introductions of the rest of the crews, and everybody is almost ready to go and start revving up their engines. But first, a word from one of their sponsors. So you guys have to wait as there's a commercial played, and it plays over all of your comm systems. And a Formian appears in front of you. Formians being these ant-like insects with 6 legs, I think, and a thick carapace, taller than a human being, and having a very strictly hierarchical caste structure based off of telepathy and mind control. So anyway, it shows a screen behind it, and it seems to be presenting with a couple of its arms, and it says, "Hello, free-thinking sentients. Do you wish to communicate more and more honestly with your peers? Are you tired of generic advertisements that clearly do not know your innermost desires? Are you adrift in an uncaring world of ennui and isolation? Are you interested in knowing every thought from your ex-partner when you were young? Then you should try Hive Mind." At first, Hive Mind was only for the young and cool, but now even you could join the collective. Delicious brainwaves. What? I'm still on. Cut! Hive Mind lets your brain directly interact with the brains of countless others in your network. Become brain buddies with anyone you've ever met, or the people they've met, or crypto analyst drones that emulate consciousness seamlessly. Hive Mind takes no responsibility for the spontaneous emergence of hostile collective intelligences. By using Hive Mind, you cede all rights to private memories and in perpetuity and agree to the shared intelligence brain hosting model of computation. Hive Mind. Everyone is there already. Do you really have a choice? And then the ad ends.
But we already are a hive mind.
Vega's like, sounds like we should probably sign up, right? Like that's where the sponsors are going to be at, right?
Well, let's just we'll just wait and see if we get like a competitor wanting to start something up. They're going to be looking for new teams on the up and up.
But it says that everyone's already there.
Oh,
but we already are a hive mind.
Well, let's have Amu try it first.
Yeah, okay. You try it out. Tell us how it is.
Yeah, we'll sign him up with like a burner account.
Yeah.
All right. You can tell from the backgrounds that I didn't describe in that ad and the runic circuitry of the colonizer that is the Formian team's sponsor, which is the giant living organism vehicle.
Makes sense.
Ants.
So, at this point, the tension is super high, can cut it with a knife. The atmosphere is super low. You can cut it with your hand doing one of those chopping motions. And you guys are hyperventilating for a combination of those two reasons as the race is about to begin.
Your breathing seems to be troubled.
Just getting used to the old lack of gravity and oxygen.
Don't forget the existence of the masks.
I'll be
Kevin,
fine.
does my armor have a built-in life support system?
I don't believe yours does, so I think that is one of those things that armor can definitely have built into it, but I don't think yours does unless it says it does.
Also, for reference, I have the jump jets built in because my armor only takes one modification at a time.
Nice.
Yeah.
So for frame of reference, this planet has about a third as much cohesive atmosphere, or I don't really know how that works, but a third as much atmosphere. You're getting, imagine you're at the top of a mountain in terms of breathing. And it also has a third as much gravity as Absalom Station or, standard / Earth gravity.
Okay.
So things bounce a little bit more. You can jump further, but for the purposes of considering like things like thrust and complex physics, we're going to ignore that and say that somehow the atmosphere balances that out.
It automatically compensates.
Sure.
It's a thing that happens.
Okay, you guys all ready?
Space can be an inhospitable place with countless dangerous worlds within it. Unless otherwise specified, all armors protect you from a range of hazards to ensure that you can survive for at least a few days. If you must make emergency repairs to the hull of a starship, blah, blah. So, does that apply to mine then?
Yeah, if you wish, you can either wear a mask separately, or you can have your armor system be like, trying to either be connected to an oxygen tank, which Rain provided in the back of the buggy, or you can have it try to reprocess the atmosphere and make it a little bit denser for you to be able to breathe. I'm not saying that's perfect, but you can do it.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll probably install an air tank somewhere like in the back of the armor, and then just have it like close the helmet.
Nice. All right. You guys also had some special attire thrown in the back of the buggy, but I'm not going to be prescriptive about exactly what that looks like. So since right before the race began, you were doing glamour shots, why don't we do a round of descriptions?
Hecubino is a human. He's bald. He's got dark skin. His eyes, he's got purple stars painted around his eyes with like a green outline. If you get in close, his makeup is really well done. There's like a fade on his eyelids and everything so that it just looks steady throughout. He's wearing a carbon armor. So he's wearing this gray armor, but the sponsors have provided this sort of like big kind of like football pads looking like green and white armor thing that doesn't protect anything. It's just for show. So he's thrown that on over his armor, as well as a big pair of like hockey goalie looking gloves, or I guess just hockey player looking gloves, which again, just for show.
I'm imagining a combination of like a goth psychic warlock and like a Hartford Whaler goalie.
I'm seeing like Wild Wing from the Mighty Ducks, only, with the head of Spock.
Yeah, it's like Wild Wing from the Mighty Ducks with the head of Steve Urkel, basically. If he was bald, without the was that like a fade that he had?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. He's got a still holstered. He's got a little zap gun.
Nice. So the camera pans. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's got his his banners, his holographic banners as well.
Yes. So the camera pans from Hecubino. And Hecubino, who does it pan to next?
It pans to Vangi.
So Vangi is wearing golem forged plate mail, so it's like pretty heavy, sturdy armor that you'd probably see most commonly being worn by a mercenary. And so it's got like a lot of like ports and sockets that are unclear exactly what they do, but one of them is definitely providing a little bit of supplemental oxygen, and that she's got a helmet over it, but the visor is clear so that you can see her face, which has the matching stars. Those appear to be like natural ways that the scales around her eyes look. As she's got turquoise base scales, the purple kind of starburst around her eyes, and like a little bit more purple under her chin and like on the crest above her head, and just giant lizard person towering over with like a long tail behind her. She's got a big pike over her back, but then also has a basically a flamethrower on the square of her back that's got a painted on it basically a pinup boy who's an Efreet, which are like little fire elemental people, and it says Efreet class burner on it. And then she's also got the holographic Sashimoto.
Nice. So your Ifrit class burner is also custom labeled the Hotness.
Nice.
I also love it's a classic for a reason. Call it cliche, but the Warpike / flamethrower combo.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the giant lizard wielding the Warpike and flamethrower. I mean, how can you go wrong, really?
Yeah.
Who
Genre
does the
staple.
Who does the camera pan to next, Vangi?
It then goes to Amu.
Hi. Amu is a Rikrichi coming out of a large mechanical seashell. Seashell currently painted up to look very brainy, but Amu is a collective of various corals that will come out of various openings on said seashell. When enough of them are out, they look vaguely humanoid and try to have something resembling a base human expression. Usually the colors are pale blues and greens with some reds and purples thrown in, depending on the message trying to be conveyed.
Nice. What message is Amu trying to convey right now?
It's very friendly and open, bright greens and blues in a smile, or as best of a smile as Amu can provide with a...
friendly smiling coral.
Yeah.
All right. After our brief trip under the sea, where does the camera pan to, Amu?
Over to Skritic.
All right. So Skritic's there, basically in his Defrex hide armor with plenty of bone spurs and hard, spiky chitinous plates. He's also managed to produce and is wearing some sort of creature skull with the mandibles coming down as like cheek guards. And he's sporting his survival knife and semi-auto pistol, kind of doing a little action menacing pose as he glares at the camera.
Nice. And what is that glare trying to convey, Skritic?
Menace?
Menace. A menace with a question mark. Perfect. That is exactly what it conveys. Like they have basically closed captioning, but it assesses your posture. In parentheses at the bottom of the screen, it says ellipses menace question mark.
Menace. Yes.
And who does the camera pan to next, Skritic?
Who's left?
The robots.
Quentin. Those the robots.
We'll go with
Quentin the
then.
robots.
Quentin.
Quentin, as you may recall, is a brushed seal sphere, roughly the size, somewhere between, I believe we said, a soccer ball and a medicine ball. Has a tendency to float around, and until Hecubino said game faces, had basically just sort of a glowing emoji face, pleasant half smile. When Quentin hears the word game face, it changes to a low-res face with big, grindy teeth and an eye patch and a snarling expression, sort of a cartoon face that you see. He goes and looks through the stuff in the back of the sand skink, and you suddenly hear... Quentin floats up, having found a Viking helmet with wings on each side that wasn't big enough for his shell, so he cut it in half, mounted one half on each side of the top of his shell, so it looks like the angry, snarling eye patch face is now wearing a Viking helmet, and on one side of the helmet in bright red letters, "Born to Cogitate." Quentin has come to play.
Nice. Now, is the eye-patched, pirate-like face Quentin's wearing, is that the result of a standard image search, or is that a privately, generated, fake human face, or is that, stolen off of someone's profile?
if you remember back in the days when low resolution graphics were the thing, it's sort of that. I mean, he can do a much more realistic face, but this one is designed to be specifically as impressionistic as possible. So it's just sort of a low resolution face. It's not a particular person, unless you're really, really old and know who Nick Fury was. But again, that's a cultural reference that
that's
Quentin
before
did not
the gap.
make.
You can't reference anything that happened before the gap. I mean, blip, gap, blip, whatever.
This is the thing, though. Quentin would not do that. Matthew cannot live without references, my friend. It's like oxygen to me. So
no. Okay.
Yes.
So my question to you is it a totally original work created by Quentin?
Yes, and it has a little fake cigar sticking out of the mouth.
Perfect.
There's
a
an
little
image of a cigar.
pop-up occurs that's just automatic because you're connected to the infosphere. It says, would you like to copyright this image for eternity? And it costs 5 credits.
Ting! Yes.
Okay, cool. Boom. You're
My
unfortunately
face is
signed up for this
copyrighted.
copywriting mail list forever, but you've got it copyrighted.
That's fine. It's a division of
Trademark.
Omnicorp. Yep. You know Omnicorp, a sea of amusements to keep you from taking up arms.
Quentin, there's
Yes.
only one crew member left. Who's the camera pan to?
The camera pans dramatically to Bob.
Bob is a 6-foot-tall android, pale complexion. He's wearing a blue, like jumpsuit, like a workman's jumpsuit, and he's wearing a wool driving cap that he's got on backwards, and a pair of goggles over his eyes, and a silk scarf around his neck, and something on his lip, like it's a mustache, but it's at a weird angle. And he just stares. And he just stares at the camera.
The camera stares back at him. Does the mustache move?
It falls off onto his lap, and he quickly turns away, and then turns back a moment later with the mustache stuck back on his lip.
Is he giving a duck face?
No, he's just
is he giving? What kind of face is he giving?
just like a blank stare, like, what am I supposed to do?
All right. And after the credit shots, you're all somehow back in position inside the sand skink, the buggy, and everyone else has piled into their vehicles as well. The big rig, the tripod, the weird living organism ant thing, and the announcers say over the loudspeakers and your portable comms, so you're getting it echoed back at you. Drifters, are you ready?
Rev the engine.
Yeah.
Yep, so you guys rev your petrol engine, and the big rig starts to rev its petrol engine. The colonizer just, all its cilia move completely unnecessarily, and it just hovers in place, teeming with energy while tons of its little cilia die. And the tripod just starts picking at the rocks all around it, rapid fire, creating a little ring. And the announcer says, "On your marks, get set, go!" And season 27 of Drifters has begun.
Brought to you by Extreme Infosphere Productions. There is no I in conglomerate.
Ooh, I cannot wait to see what happens when this race starts. I think it's going to be exciting. I don't think we've done any vehicle type actions in any of our games, have we? Anyone remember in any of our past games?
Maybe a couple skill challenges.
We've definitely done skill challenges that involved, and we fought a tank once in Critical
Oh,
Hit.
right.
But yeah,
But I don't know if you've seen the rules for this. It's not going to be the same.
Yeah. So that's what I'm curious about, is to see how vehicles move and turn, and because I'm sure there's rules for that in Starfinder and in other games like this. So we're going to find out how that happens next week. So you're going to have to tune in, you're going to have to find out, and you're going to have to ride along with us, shotgun, and see who is going to win this race between these four teams. But until then, here's hoping all of your dice rolls are critical hits.
Major Spoilers Podcast, copyright 2009. Major Spoilers Podcast, copyright 2010.
Major Spoilers is copyright 2011. Major Spoilers is copyright 2012. Major Spoilers is copyright 2013. Major Spoilers is copyright 2014. This podcast is copyright 2015 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC. This podcast is copyright 2016 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC. This podcast is copyright 2017 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC. This podcast is copyright 2018 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC. This podcast is copyright 2019 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC. This podcast is copyright 2020 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC. This podcast is copyright 2021 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.
This podcast is sponsored by IQ Bar.
I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 7 plant protein bars, 4 hydration mixes, and 4 enhanced coffee sticks. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20 to get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Again, go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20.